My dear friends, this seventh talk has the number 7 repeated couple of times. I give you 7 principles of holistic living, 7 questions, searching questions we need to ask, 7 challenges that come across to us, and what are the 7 guidelines we need to keep track of. One of the famous things I keep asking people who have done their retreat is, has it made any impact? I always suspect someone going for a retreat, hearing lovely talks and coming out of it, and the talks or the insights given do not make any impact in the person's life. I would not like this to happen. That's why I've taken the trouble to formulate these, which will help you to sit down and work out what can be the impact. At least 1, 2, 3 you can point out. That will be sufficient, because then the retreat will prove useful. So the 7 principles are: love what you are doing, the first one. If you do not love what you are doing, then life becomes a burden. I've often given talks to parish council members, SCC members, religious sisters, even seminarians and laity, and I ask, if you do not love what you are doing, you need to just stop your work and move out. If you really love, then that work does not become a burden. Otherwise, you'll say, what a burden, I've been chosen to be the parish council member, what a pain it is to be a SCC member. I have entered into the priesthood or the religious life, and it's so very tough. If I do not love what I'm doing, I better get out of the situation. And so wherever you are, to love what you're doing, even if you are assigned to some work, if you do not love what you're doing, then it will become very painful. The corollary to this is, an assignment might be given to you which is you do not like. But then it is your maturity to find out how you can love what you are doing in spite of not liking what you have been doing. So you love. You may not like because of various reasons, but you still continue loving what you're doing, and it becomes a passionate commitment. Some assignment, some transfer, some job given to you, it may not be to your liking, but once you love it, everything falls in place. Very clearly seen in a family where the mother or the father, mother especially, go through a lot of problems connected with the child as the child grows up. She finds it painful at times, but as soon as she has started loving what she is doing, her motherhood, the bringing up of the child, everything falls in place. The second thing that we need to do is, we need to give visibility to our work wherever we are, whether in the priesthood, religious, or your commitment to the parish. Where is the visibility to show that this is the work that is being done? I often stand in front of the church or the parish that I'm assigned, and I ask the question, standing at the gate of the church, People pass in hundreds, if not thousands, during the day. What is going in their mind when they see a structure like this, the church? And therefore, my endeavor is always, when they see the structure, something must come to their mind. I've done that in Amboli Church, the whole Last Supper right in front, 70 feet. So something comes across that this thing is happening. The present church, Vakola, we have a gallery of 20, 30 posters of our work being done. So when someone walks in, the person gets the impression these are the things that are being done. So this visibility is an important factor. The third one is to set targets. Often we do not set targets. We keep on repeating the same things, copy-paste style, and we keep repeating the same mistakes. What are the targets we set? For the priesthood, for the religious, as a layperson in the home, in the family, as a religious in the community, superior in the community, what is the target we keep for this year? Something we can write down and say, this is what we will achieve or I will achieve. At the end of the year, if it's not achieved, no big deal, because you have made the effort and God does the rest. But setting targets is so very, very, very important. And so when you finish the retreat, you set a target for yourself. 1, 2, 3, whatever it be. This is till the next retreat. This is what I have learned. This is what I want to inculcate. This is what I want to practice. And if it is not done, it's all right, because you have put in the effort, or not achieved. You have put in the effort, but then at least you are clear that you have set targets for yourself. The fourth thing necessary is a disciplined approach. I often give seminars to council members, small Christian community members, cells, associations in parishes. And when I find the audience just about 20 or 30, my question goes to the parish priest, how many were supposed to come? And if he says 50 were supposed to come, what has happened to the rest? Okay, there are excuses. But what is there from your part to get in touch with the rest and say, we missed you. It was an important session. You give the idea that you need to be there, and if you have not been there for whatever reason, you missed something. This kind of a disciplined approach is not present, sadly speaking. I went to a parish council meeting. I planned it very well. Half the number was not there. But they had very good reason. But then it was the task of the parish priest to say that, they are going, so half will be there. Then I'm clear whether I should go or not go. And I wonder what is the follow-up work done by that parish priest to get in touch with the other half and say, these were the insights given, and we need, even if we were absent, to see how we can put it in our life. Fifth one, increasing our area of influence. That means, I've mentioned it earlier, that we need to have a problem-solving attitude. An attitude wherein we do not go on repeating the problem, but we find solutions to solve the problem. And therefore, as soon as we approach a crisis, rather than make it a big issue, a big problem, find out whether there could be a bigger solution to it. Someone has said, and it must have been repeated, that in a corporate world, if you are not part of the solution, you become part of the problem or you are part of the problem. So very often when problems come, immediately try to seek solutions. People come to me and ask and tell or complain about a particular problem, and I often tell them, but what is the solution? Don't keep on repeating the problem. Sometimes I might be mild, not to aggravate the other person, but I goad the person to find out what solution, even if it is a small one, so that we can begin from there and tackle the problem. The sixth one is to look at the bigger picture. Very often we focus only on the small pictures. I often walk across after my first Mass, and people come to me saying, Father, one light in that whole church wasn't working. One fan is giving trouble. And my often comment is, but there are 32 fans in that church, 31 were working. I don't know why this is not working. Or if there are 50 lights there, one did not work, but 49 worked. The message I want to give them is, look at the bigger picture. Let's not be negative. Let's be positive. If this can go across, even in our life, so much of fulfillment can be had. The seventh one is to have a holistic approach. You find multitasking a necessary thing today. You can't be just assigned to one task and then remain to that task. Look at a parent. Look at a child today. Multitasking. One subject, second subject, 10 subjects. The mother working, cooking, sweeping, sopping. So many tasks. So we need to be multitasking. So we need to develop that. It does not come in easily. Multitasking is an art. Several things are assigned to me, and I feel all these things, responsibilities given to me, are tackled because various parts of my brain are tackling each of these responsibilities that have been assigned, each of the issues that emerge from such responsibilities. I do not just stick to one, but I take in entirely, and then there is the holistic approach that will dawn in your life. 7 questions. The first question is, do we understand what it means to be the church? What is your perception of being the church? I often ask the groups, the lay associations, what is your idea of the church? I also ask religious communities, what is the concept of church uppermost in your mind? What does it imply? And from there on, you get an opportunity to refine yourself and get to what really it means to be the church. By dialogue, through reading, through interaction, you will come to a better understanding of what it means to be a church. The second question is, are we trained sufficiently? Do we have the necessary skills? Whichever life you have chosen, you need to be skilled. You need to learn something. Stephen Covey, in his book 7 Habits, the last one, he says, sharpening the saw, means you need to learn something. You need to sharpen the brain. You need to kind of be alert on what's happening. You need to train. A simple question I ask many of our seminarians when I'm in contact with them, what is one thing you have learned, whether via a book or through your studies, in this whole year that has passed? Have you trained yourself sufficiently to go beyond a simple thing that has been taught to you so that you can deepen into it? Or any skill So many skills we need. One skill can you learn? Third one, do we possess the right interpersonal relationship attitude? I remember being in charge of small Christian communities, and then one area, the small Christian community group was not meeting, and that person in charge told me, nothing is happening. I said, but you are so good, dedicated, and nothing is happening. So at a given time when the person did not know about it, I visited the 22 families that were there. And guess what I found out? The problem was this animator. This animator was so rude, so demanding, so insensitive that no one even wanted to kind of collaborate with that animator. So do we have that interpersonal skills or the relationship to kind of build bonds as a family member, as a deacon, as a seminarian, as a priest, as a religious? You need to have that pleasant attitude of meeting people, being assertive, not being aggressive, being pleasant, at the same time quite demanding from them. Fourth one, how much effort do I put in the work assigned? I was giving a talk to a deanery years ago when small Christian communities was just coming up, and the question they would put forth is it worth it? Is it worth it? Nothing seems to be working. I could follow that when something new is introduced, always people have questions. My one question to them was, how much effort have you put in this work? How much effort? If you have put in just 1 hour a week or 1 hour a month, don't expect miracles to happen. You must be able to kind of put in that amount of effort to get the results. So how much effort do you put in the work assigned to you? The next one, fifth one, is perseverance. Is there a sense of perseverance, or do we give up very easily? You need to have that kind of an approach that come what may, I will conquer it. I will get beyond it. Not to give in easily. That perseverance is good to bring in the right results. Because at the least conflict that you encounter or the obstacle that come, if you give up, then life is not going to be pleasant at all. The seventh one is, am I in the mindset that God has chosen me? I need to be realizing the fact that God has chosen me. Whether for good or for bad, that's another question to be asked. Am I conscious of the fact that God has chosen me? The other day, I was talking to the parents, and they were relating their marital problems, and I told them, whatever be it, are you conscious that God has chosen you to be with this partner? I am not saying there are no problems. There are many issues. I'm myself a lawyer. I work in the marriage tribunal of Bombay Archdiocese for the last, I think, 30 years I've worked. And I think in a month, as a defender of the bond, I handle more than 100 cases. So imagine the number of cases that have come. So I'm not saying that there are no problems, but I'm saying once the person feels that God has chosen me to be in this spot, the whole game changes, both for the partner as well as for the person who's complaining. This attitude must come into my life. The 7 challenges you see we need to be the good shepherd. The good shepherd. A shepherd who cares, who inspires, who challenges, who heals, who reveals things, who instructs, who strengthens, and brings about a transformation. This is the challenge. So wherever you are, find out whether you are the good shepherd. If not, we need to kind of find out how best we can come closer to the best example we have of a good shepherd par excellence, Jesus Christ. The second challenge is to always express joy in our ministry. When we approach a problem, when we approach a person, when we approach an assignment, a responsibility, do we go about in life with Good Friday faces, like long faces, or do we have that Easter Sunday outlook, that joy? I was assigned a tough task in Cardine Technical School when my predecessor was murdered by the people around. And the next day I was there. I said, let's bring joy. I was promised by the authority that I would be there in that responsibility for only 1 year. Because I said, that's not my cup of tea. I'm for training, and administration is not my cup of tea. But nevertheless, I'm there for 25 years and continuing. And the only thing that kept me going is because I said, let's bring joy in this hopeless situation, and that has worked. The third thing is creativity. I like this. I challenge our youth group and other groups that come in touch with me to be creative, not go down the beaten track. When I have the parish council meeting, I always put up on the board, these are the things we did last year. Now let's see what we can do this year. And in a lighter vein, I say that if anything of those is repeated, it's a mortal sin. So they get the message that, we need to think differently, creative, out of the box. Even if it is the same thing put in a different way, I think this is a challenge for us. The fourth thing, to be sensitive, especially to the periphery people. In the parish, in the work that is assigned to you, you might be close to some people, but there are many at the periphery, poor people. Am I sensitive to what they are going through? If I'm not sensitive, then I think I've lost the challenge God has placed before me. Whether I am a parent or whether a seminarian or a deacon or religious or a priest, if I'm not sensitive to the needs of the others, I think I need to change. Being sensitive is the important thing. I remember Bishop Percy telling me there are 3 rules if you want to be good in your ministry. First rule, and he quotes some top author of behavioral science. First, be kind. And then we wait for the second one. And he said, second one, be kind. And then we wait for the third one. And he said, third rule, be kind. I think the message goes across that we have to be sensitive. The next one is to journey. There are people who are slow. So the challenge is to be at their pace. Very often we are far ahead, and so we do not journey along. People going through pain, problems, we journey along. I think Pope Francis uses that phrase quite often. You journey with the couple. You journey with these prisoners. That's what his main message is. Can we journey with these people? The sixth one is to identify talents and use them. Very often, I've noticed in a parish that we have a group of people very talented. And the same people are there doing over and over again, and they are there in practically everything, whether it's liturgical service, cultural programs, or a main item of organizing the parish show or whatever it may. Same people. I always believe that we need to identify talents. Identify. I spoke to a parish council group of various parishes of a deanery, and I said, your one task must be, through the year, if I've identified one new talent, God will bless me. Just one. Just one. Remember, 365 days I'm giving you to identify a talent which has not been identified. Can you search that one talent in your area? The seventh one is to think of new ministries. I think we have to get into this line. Post-pandemic, the church is going to be different, really different. And therefore, we need to think of new ministry. I think possibly spirituality will change, theology will need to be adapted for what we have gone through 1.5 years. A newer ministry might be in existence. I think we need to think about that. Start thinking now. And that brings me to the last thing, the 7 guidelines. So I've mentioned to you 7 principles, 7 questions, 7 challenges, and 7 guidelines. I'll go rapidly. Invest in the people that you're given charge of. A parent invests sufficient love, care, and money for education in the child. When I'm in a parish, do I invest money for training? I keep aside a certain budget. If I don't invest, that means I'm not investing to see that people grow up in life. Second one, be appreciative. Very often, simple things you do, if appreciated, bring about great results. I have a very simple rule, and it's been working. I was told about it by my first parish priest 41 years ago. I have a whole stack of thank you notes, simple thank you notes. And then during the day, I say, which is the person that I was touched? Who's the person who did something? Can I put one remark on it and send to that person? That person feels highly happy to know that there is an appreciative note coming. Recently, there was some program by the youth. I just sent a simple line, and they were gaga over it, in the sense that they felt someone had appreciated. Even at home, children, I tell them, be appreciative. Be appreciative of your parents. Parents, be appreciative of your children. Superiors, be appreciative of what your juniors do. Juniors, appreciate what the seniors are doing. Things will be better. The third one, is my life meaningful? I need to find that for myself. Is my life going on the right track? Am I being meaningful to others? Then people will find a meaning to their own lives. That meaninglessness is coming into today's society. And therefore, we have to combat that, kill that meaninglessness by first acquiring the meaning in my life and helping others to find out that they can find a meaning in their life. The fourth one is to get everything integrated. We start one thing, another one starts another thing, a third one starts another thing. We have in the parish, the parish feast Navina on one theme, the Parents' Day themes is another one, the Nativity of Our Lady another theme, the Lenten programs come another theme. Can we integrate? Can the whole parish find that there is an that there is a connection from one thing to another right through the year? Otherwise, it's kind of piecemeal work done just for the sake of doing it. The fifth guideline is synergy. It's a concept from the corporate world. When everyone prays together, there is a power that is built up. last evening I was in a parish and I said, this parish of 3,000 people, I was giving a talk on Zoom to the parishioners. If all 3,000 people at the end of the day just spend 2 minutes lifting the parish to the Lord, there will be 6,000 minutes of prayer lifted up to the Lord. And that's only for one day. Imagine that multiplied by 30 days and by 12 months in a year. See the amount of power that is going into to the Lord. I often lift up things that I cannot handle up to the Lord. And sometime later on, people come and say, Father, that problem is sorted out. You must have prayed a lot. And I wonder whether I did pray. But then I know I lifted that to the Lord and probably the Lord had done the work. Synergy helps. Sixth one, collaboration. There's a lot of new theories coming about collaboration, about the church. There's a synod going to be there on collaboration. We have had a synod in the Archdiocese of Bombay. How do we collaborate? This is against the individualistic, materialistic mindset that is there. We need to be communitarian, incarnational. I'm using big words, but I think you will understand what it is. And if you have not been able to follow that, get into Google or finding out what these terms mean. I keep that as a homework for you. But collaborate climate should be there. And the last one, coping skills. People are finding it difficult to cope. I was talking to the Cardinal the other day and I said, priests during this 1.5 years might have difficulty coping with the situation. Now, that's a fact, because especially priests who have been alone in a parish or in a mission center or in a parish unit, what does he do? You can't even come out, you can't even do anything, people don't come and meet you. But how do we cope with this situation? And it's a skill. It doesn't come easily. Coping skills we need to give. When people come to us, they always are looking for some coping skills. Skills that will help them tide over the problem. And so to conclude, once again, 7 principles, 7 questions, 7 challenges, 7 guidelines. Because at the end of it, when you finish the retreat, I don't want it to be one more retreat that has come and gone. It needs to bring about a change in your life, in my life. What is the one challenge? Which is the one principle I'll follow? Which is the one question I need to go on asking myself? Which is the guideline I will lay down? God bless us all.
When shadows fall and the night covers all, there are things that my eyes cannot see. I'll never fear, for the Savior is near. My Lord abides with me. How can I fear? Jesus is near. He ever watches over me. Worries all cease. He gives me peace. How can I fear with Jesus? When I'm alone and I face the unknown, and I fear what the future may be, I can depend on the strength of my friend. He walks along with me. How can I fear? Jesus is near. He ever watches over me. Worries all cease. He gives me peace. Jesus is King, He controls everything. He is with me each night and each day. I trust my soul to the Savior's control. He drives all fear away. How can I fear? Jesus is near. He ever watches over me. Worries all cease. He gives me peace. How can I fear with Jesus? Worries all cease. He gives us peace. How can